Statewide's had a very good year against the market for the default MySuper product, where we returned 14.95. That compared amongst the top 3 or 4 of similar superannuation funds in the country. So the 1 year return was exceptional. In particular, that was about 2.26%, I think, better than the median manager in the surveys, the super rating surveys. But also our cash, Australian shares, international shares, diversified bonds, where we've got a longer track record, over 5 to 7 years. Most of those strategies are ahead of the median and some are in the top quartile. So we're pretty happy with how the range of options are performing at the moment. The South Australian economy has struggled recently. Unemployment has ticked up to above 7%. We want to see the state do well. We want our members to be working. We want the state to be growing and contributing to the super. There are enough drivers in the South Australian economy like agribusiness, education and services. So we think South Australia will do better, but it's been a difficult environment. The statewide MySuper default option is what we target as an inflation plus 4% investment objective over 10 years. It is what we would call a growth type option, being 80% growth assets, 20% defensive. But we define defensive here, we have quite a conservative definition as cash, Australian bonds, international bonds plus alternative debt. We think that this type of product is the appropriate one. Someone has a long-term horizon, and we think that it's a great way to get exposure to all the asset classes, being cash, bonds, infrastructure, alternative debt, private equity, and absolute return. So that's our default fund and our flagship strategy at Statewide. The first thing is we get access to investments that a self-managed fund can't get access to. For example, interesting international strategies, infrastructure, unlisted assets, private equity. The second thing is we have more diversification because we spread our assets and we look at these opportunities. And the third thing is because of our size, we get fees that are much more competitive than, say, an individual self-managed scheme or a retail investor. And I think those 3 make us a more compelling option than using a self-managed scheme. For Statewide to continue the great start it's had to get positive returns in the future, I think it's important that we continue doing what we're doing, having our investment philosophy, our structure, our governance, and keeping to our strategy. We're local, so you can call us. We have locally trained people. We have in-house financial planning. We have an office in downstairs. We have at 211 Victoria Square. So there are a number of ways that people can come in and see us and talk about their super, find out our investment strategies and get financial planning advice.